Hey guys, I don't know how much battery I've got exactly. I will try to make this short and sweet, but I just had a bit of an epiphany again, or maybe it's just that something is just in a slightly different context. All of a sudden it just goes, oh my god, that's what it is. Okay, so here is the thing. I tried to order my two pretty Peggy bags, but I didn't do it right because I didn't go back to the Etsy and, completed the order or something, and now the money is coming back. It's fine because we will do the thing once everything sorted itself out. However, in this household, we have a history of having money problems. And it isn't even so much that we don't have the brains to, save, spend it where it's needed and look after ourselves, because we can do that together nowadays. And actually looking back on our history together, my husband and I, we've always tried our very best to look after ourselves, each other, the unit, and all the rest of it. It was the problems stem from other areas. Communication being first and foremost in the past, especially where we hadn't really, explicitly agreed on the priorities that we were supposed to follow. Of course, you have to pay for the house. You have to pay the rent. You have to pay for, we have to live. You have to eat and drink and have hot water and all that type of stuff. That wasn't even really the problem. I suppose it's all to do with confidence, really, with being sure of yourself. And since my husband and I both stem from households where everything just exploded into space because our parents divorced, his parents divorced, my parents divorced, and you just don't believe the level of drama that people were up to back in the 20th century. Last century, it's a long time ago. God, the way people went about their business, the level of inadequacy. And those were not stupid people, okay? The four of them, none of them were stupid. So it was all inadequacy, okay? And this is something I can get extremely worked up about, especially after the week I've been having. I feel much better, but it's because I slept properly and, easy things like that. The thing I really want to link it all up to is that for me personally, I look at astrology again and again. And there's a tiny point, what it doesn't even have to do with communication or with money, Mercury, Saturn, either of them. In my horoscope, there is a planet in one sign, and it really belongs in this sign normally, okay? And the planet that belongs in this sign is in that one. I think that's called what's that called? There's a word for that. I can't remember. Mutually something or other. Mars is in Cancer, the moon is in Aries. What happens is I just can't stop emotionally. I can see it happen nowadays. I can see myself do it. Thank God that I've got this, this structure, because not everybody has this. Not everybody has this type of organization. If Mars had been over there or the moon had been over there, there would not have been this mutuality. So they keep feeding into each other. As soon as when I feel inadequate, I feel I have no control over the situation, I feel I am being blamed, especially. I feel I am being held responsible for something. Old story, you've seen it before. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do anymore. I am out of options. I am being... it's like, you know, it's a gun being held to my head. I've never had that type of experience, so I can't, I shouldn't be saying this, but it feels that way. So, and then nobody's really doing anything like that. They're just stressed out. People are worried, okay? And then the worry comes into me, and I just go, wee, and there's this circle. It's like this merry-go-round or a fairground, one of those huge wheels. It just never ends. And I have to sort of yank myself out of that, to put myself down. Can you please, use your brain? What's going on here? It's trauma, it's all the past, all the past programming. Both of us have seen our parents disintegrate. How scary is that as a kid? What are you supposed to do? And a lot of it had to do with money, of course. My mum was financially very dependable. So I am a Leo. I have no clue. I think money grows on trees. That's what I believe. Because it's always there. I don't worry about it. It's not an issue. And if I don't have it, I don't think of it either. Because I've always, got enough to eat. I've got a roof over my head. I've got a shirt on my back. What the hell? Why should I worry? Okay? And I'm not the type of Leo to go for status, have a big car, big house, and all the rest of it. I mean, I don't have that type of history, so none of it really registers. The only point where it does register, where I would like to have, to be affluent, so to speak, would be to travel more. Because I've traveled all my life and I love it. And I just like a lot to, be surrounded by different scenery and be moving around the place. But I can't really do that at the moment. So then you have to do it in your mind. You have to think of other things. You have to, travel on the tube or on the telly or on the internet. And there's so much to do and so much to investigate that I don't really... But the problem isn't... So that's what I'm trying to say here. The problem isn't really about the money, or it's not even about the communication, although that's a big part of, recurring themes for us. I go nuts. So for me to be my best sovereign self, I have to be aware of this. I have to be aware of the mechanism of my birth chart, where one energy just feeds into the other. And it's not with Venus either, Moon Venus or Moon Mercury. That would be a lot chiller. Moon in Aries, boom, like that. And Mars in Cancer, that I actually have to look up and see again what it does, because I have a blind spot. I don't know what it, I don't really, you're supposed to be passionate and tenacious and kind of, the home means everything to me. That's one thing I discovered last week, looking it up. Now I remember. Jupiter in Cancer as well. Mars, Venus, Jupiter, all the three of them in Cancer for me. I never had a home up to now for half a century. So that's where my area is. I'm very insecure about this type of thing. And I'm used to it being yanked out of my life, and So I'm crazy. That's what I'm trying to say. I am, but there's a pattern to the crazy. And I suppose one day it'll all be simmering down. And maybe I shouldn't really wish for that. I don't know. Thanks for being here, guys. I love you to pieces. See you soon, and hopefully with something a little more, balanced and elaborate. Ciao for now. Bye-bye.